Good morning, it's Suze, and today we're moving from questioning to trusting. It was super interesting because I noticed that when I pulled the word, when I say pulled the word, I always just sit with what are people feeling right now in my community? What's going on for people? And then I muscle test and find a word out of my big book. And the word that came up today was questioning. And as I was writing it down, I went, oh, questioning has as its root the word quest. And I thought that's really interesting, the word quest. So that's what I want to talk to you about today is moving from that questioning place to a trusting place. But before we go there, I want to talk to you a little bit about what happened yesterday. How did it work when you went from tribulation to blessings? Yes, there's things that are, oppressing and upsetting and all of that kind of stuff. You can either focus on that or you can instead transform it to a reminder to focus on your blessings. And what I found yesterday was that when I was focusing on my blessings, more blessings came. That's the really cool thing about how your mind works, how the law of attraction works. What you focus on is going to expand. So it makes total sense to focus on blessings rather than tribulations. So that's what we did yesterday. And today, I know these props are pretty amazing, aren't they? We're moving from questioning to trusting. Questioning to trusting. And I know a lot of people have had their trust really, really shaken. And that's okay. That's okay. We're going to talk about how you could transform it anyway. So let's start with the word questioning. I know that I don't usually focus a lot on what I call the downside of the line, but today I want to just take a look at the word questioning because it's not a bad word. None of the words on this side of the line are bad. They're just there to remind you to be here. And so when I look at questioning, as I said, the root of it is quest. Well, who doesn't want to have a quest? That sounds like an adventure. That sounds like fun. That's like, wow, I could go on a quest. And yet somehow, when we put the ing on the end of it and make it questioning, it kind of moves from an exciting place to something else. So here's the difference. Which side of the line is that question on? Is it coming from a place of curiosity? Is it coming from a place of seeking new information or seeking knowledge? Or is it coming from a, I'm scared, I'm questioning everything, oh no, everything's up for question? Okay, big deep breath. Just, you can feel which side of the line that's on. If it's on this side of the line, remember it's plummeting your immune system, and that's not what we want right now. If it's on this side of the line, raising your immune system, and that's what we all need right now. So thank you so much for joining me. I see we've got Susan and Dean and Heather and Deb online. And so if you've got any questions, just pop it into it's Sue's there as well. Pop it into the chat box and I will see if I can either attend to it today or tomorrow. Big deep breath. Okay. So what's happening in your brain right now is all of the, what I call tapes, all of the subconscious autopilot is all being brought forward for questioning. Why? Because it's not working anymore. We can't just rely on the stuff that we were relying on because our environment has changed. Things have changed. We've got visible evidence of it all around us. Okay, so big breath. So it's good to question, okay? But when you get those questions, respond to them like you would as a really good adult on a really good day when you've had lots of sleep and you're well rested and a child is asking questions and you see it with the childlike curiosity and wonder as opposed to the irritation. Okay, so if you all got that in your mind, how you could look at those questions as going, oh, okay, that's an interesting question, thanks for asking that question. And this is the way that you can speak to yourself when your mind starts going into the questions like, whoa, okay, you got lots of questions, let's just look at them one at a time. Now, in order to do that, you need to be in a pretty solid place of this. And you're going, but Suze, I can't trust anything out there. What can I trust? I don't know what. Right. Here's the cool thing about trust is it has nothing to do with everybody else out there and everything to do with trusting yourself and your relationship to whatever you understand your higher power to be. Trusting. Okay, so big deep breath. So what what we'll do is focus on what you can trust, okay? Now, there are some things outside of you that you can trust as well. But let's start first with what you can trust about yourself. So I can trust myself to be dressed before I go in public. I can trust myself to be up and on these calls every morning for 8 o'clock. My little monkey in my head said, not necessarily with dry hair, but you can trust yourself, okay? So what can you trust yourself? I can trust myself to, and you complete that. What are you trusting yourself with? Good morning, Kim. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Heather. Good to see you guys. Where can you trust? Okay? And then there is, as I said, some things outside of you that you can trust. And here's some things that you can absolutely trust. The sun will come up. I don't mean to get all, the sun will come up too, but it will. You can trust it. You can also trust that the sun will go down. Okay, you can also trust that if you are living in the Alberta area, that spring will come. Just maybe not today, but it's going to come, and we have evidence. We can see evidence of it. So focus on what you can trust first. And then from that place of, again, let's think about a small child with lots of questions. They go to an adult that they can trust for the answers. They don't go to an adult they don't trust. So rather than getting irritated with those questions, just go, okay, you've got lots of questions. I don't want to say your poor brain, but our brains are exploding now with learning more quickly than probably they have since we were like 1.5, 2.5, when we were sponging everything in. This is why you're so tired. This is why you're hungry, because your brain is working overtime. And so what would you say to a friend that was working overtime and going crazy with all the stuff that was going on? You'd be like, it's okay, you can trust me. I'll give you good solid answers. Wouldn't you? I define a friend as somebody that you can trust, that when you say, what would I be thinking if I was thinking straight, they would answer you like how you would be thinking. Okay? So, can you trust yourself to give yourself good answers? Can you trust yourself to keep yourself on the upside of the line? Can you trust yourself when you go into the spin cycle to go, stop? That's fear, doubt, and worry, and I'm focusing on what I trust. Because sometimes naming that stuff really helps. Because questions sometimes come out of curiosity, and sometimes they come out of fear, doubt, worry. And when they come out of fear, doubt, and worry, that's when you need to be super compassionate with yourself. Super compassionate. Okay? So let's do a quick, I'd see a couple of questions here. Are there still 10-minute repatterning sessions? Absolutely. You just pop a request on the Belief Repatterning site, which is where this is live. So on the Belief Repatterning Facebook page, you pop a request there, and one of our team members will get to you, and we're completely happy to offer 10-minute tune-ups. Okay, so yeah, they're complimentary. All right, so hi, thank you, Mandy. Thank you, big squishy mega hugs. Thank you. That's nice. Oh, I trust that I'm going to get big squishy mega hugs. Yeah. And another thing that I trust that when I hop on these things, that somebody's going to come and say good morning to me. That's a nice thing to trust. And you can trust that when you hop on at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be here, not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. You can trust that I'm giving myself that day to just sleep until I wake up. The goofy part is that this week I woke up at like 20 after 7 anyway. But anyway, there's things that you can trust. Absolutely. So Marnie's saying she's fine. She's getting foggy with all this new. Trust has been your word for several time frames this last month. Yes, absolutely. Because that's your very wise brain saying we need to focus on trust. That's what it is. And when she says I'm getting that word as my word, people that have studied with us, one of the things that we teach is to choose a word of intention each day. What I'm doing is choosing what's going on and a word of intention each day. Now, there's also other places that you can get that. We have the, on the Facebook page, there's a word of intention each day, and it's different than this one. That's okay, you can have more than one. You can pick your own, okay? But let's move from questioning to trusting. All right, so I'm going to just say some statements, and I'll ask you to repeat them after me. If the monkey in your head comes up going, wah, 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 just type it in the chat room, and I will get back to you. If not during this live, then right after. I forgive myself for believing Now let's go here. I recognize there's a lot of questions right now. Let's just acknowledge it. I recognize there's a lot of questions right now. I give myself permission to answer those questions like a trusted adult. I can question from fear, or I can approach the questions with curiosity. I choose to approach the questions with curiosity. When I approach questions with curiosity, it deepens my ability to trust. Another thing that deepens my ability to trust is focusing on my blessings. Let's look at the one of the day before. And I'm capable of that. And it makes me feel secure. There we go. See how these all go together to create a belief system. I'm free to trust myself today. I can do that when I'm just anything that you're going to be doing. I'm free to trust myself today when I go up and say good morning to Phil. Well, that's not for you. That one's for me. I'm free to trust myself today when I make myself a cup of tea right after I'm done this. I'm free to trust myself today when I complete that first item on my to-do list and make it a ta-da. I can't trust myself. Yeah, yesterday I trusted myself too. And this is the conversation that you have with yourself. Trusting. Remember, the only person that you really need to trust is you. Because when you trust yourself completely, when you're being your own best friend, when you're being your own best adult, when you're being your own best anything for yourself, you can trust you. And when that trust is in place, if your spidey sense goes up and you're not trusting something outside of you, then you can trust you. Stop trying to trust everything outside of you and learn to trust within in a deeper way than you have before. Super appreciate you all being online. We'll be back tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to come up tomorrow, but today's was moving from questioning to trusting. And so I'm always interested to hear how you do that. I check the chat box afterwards. I'll check the chat box during the day. Let me know how you're deepening your trust in yourself. You got this one. Take good care. Have a wonderful, trusting day. Remember, you're trusting you.